wall warm-up. We're going to begin with rolling out the quads. So we're going to go onto our elbows. From here, we're going to pull ourselves up right above the knee, then roll ourselves down. As we're going through this, we want to make sure that we're pulling our belly button up as we're going through this. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to move into calves. And so with the calves, what we're going to do is we're going to stack one leg on top of the other and keeping our hips down, pressing the palms into the floor. You're going to rotate your foot inward and outward if you want to find different spots to find those areas of tension. From there, you're going to switch sides and do the same on the opposite. Now, as we're going through this, we want to start at the middle part of the calf and either go slightly up or down, just finding those areas of tension. As soon as we're done with the calves, we're going to move into the hamstring. And so with the hamstring, what we want to do is we want to have one leg bent, leaning back a little bit. Now from that position, what we want to do is turn our foot inward and outward, again, finding those different areas of tension. You want to make sure that those hips are slightly up as we're going through the hamstring. And then from there, we're going to switch legs, bend that knee, rotate or rock up and down. Again, we can rotate that leg inward and outward, finding those different areas of tension. Lastly, with foam rolling, we're going to go into our upper back. So with that upper back, we want to start at the bottom of the ribs and end at the top of the shoulders. From there, I'm going to pull myself down, press my feet into the floor as I'm rolling up. The next part of the warm-up we're going to move into is the dynamic movement. So what we want to begin with is breathing. And all we're going to do is have our feet flat to the floor, tucking our chins down, knees can be bent, hand on the chest, hand on the stomach. We're going to inhale through the nose, get the belly filled with air, and slow and controlled breathe out through the mouth as if you're breathing out through a straw. So again, as you're going into this motion, what you want to do is you want to keep that chin tucked, breathe in through the nose, and breathe out through the mouth. As soon as we're done there, what we're going to move into next is our rib grabs. We're going to stack the knees. We're going to get the hand on top of the ribs. We're going to turn and twist, and from that position, we're going to hold. I'm going to get my belly full of air, letting my ribs expand outward, and breathing out slow and controlled. Once the time is up, we're going to switch to the other side. Same thing here. I'm going to twist and turn, take in a big breath. Keeping my shoulder in that same spot. As soon as I'm done there, we're going to move into that rolling reach. So I'm going to have my knee bent. I'm going to push my foot into the ground. I'm going to roll, twist and turn to that opposite side, then switch. So we're going to be alternating from side to side as we're rolling and as we're reaching.
That's okay. You're on vacation.
That's right.
Next thing that we're going to move into is our cat-cows. And so from this position, we want to press the palms into the ground. We're going to pull our belly button down. From here, we're going to take in a big breath. That way our belly gets full of air. We're going to stretch out the top of that diaphragm, which is that muscle below those ribs. As I breathe out, I'm rounding through that upper back, pressing my palms firmly into the ground, tucking my chin, dropping my belly button, raising my chin up. Remembering our breathing, breathing out as you're raising up, breathing in as you're dropping the belly button down. From there, we're going to move into rocking, keeping the toes up, widen the knees slightly, eyes and head stay up. I'm going to sit my hips back, then rock forward. Keeping the eyes and head up, letting that weight go to the palms, all the way to the back of the toes. As soon as we're done there, we're going to move into our push-up position plank, keeping those shoulders underneath those hands. From that position, I'm going to pull my belly button up towards the ceiling, and I'm going to focus focus in on my breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Next, we're going to move into our bird dogs. So with our bird dogs, what we want to do is we want to push our foot, our knee, and our hand into the ground. And from there, we're going to go into opposite motion. So opposite arm, opposite leg, keeping that leg low to the ground. We don't want it to be too high. So again, pushing my hand, foot, and knee into the ground as I extend my opposite arm and opposite leg. After that, we're going to move into our half kneeling hip flexor stretch. So from this position, what we want to do is we want to make sure our back toe is up. We're reaching that dowel as high as we can and having our hips slightly pressed forward as we're holding here. We'll hold for 30 seconds, then switch. And again, I want to make sure that I'm keeping this tall and tight position. I'm pushing my hip forward and I'm pressing that dowel into the ground. That way I can create a little more tension there. Next, we're going to move into our dowel squat. We're going to start in a tall and tight position. We're going to have a slight bend in our knees. We're going to reach our hips back. And as you're reaching down, you're pressing the dowel out. Pull and stand tall. So again, as I'm going through that motion, keeping tall and tight, reaching those hips back, pressing that dowel out in front. After that, we're going to move into our hip hinges, keeping that dowel close to my thighs. I'm going to have a slight bend in my knee. I'm going to reach my hips back, bringing the dowel below my knee, press my feet into the floor and stand tall. Now the goal here is to keep that back as straight as you can. So again, I bend my knees, I reach my hips back, I keep the top of my chest up as I'm going down. Lastly, we're going to wrap up with cross crawls. Now with those, you can stay stationary, meaning you'll stay in place. Otherwise, if you wanted to, you can be a little bit more active, going up and down in your area.